I'm an earthworm woman. In the mornings, I fill my tanks by breathing the energy of the sea and tasting the power of the sun penetrating my skin. There's an air of no care, which comes with age, and I hold my head up proudly, liking who I've become. I'm not afraid of smells, or dirt, or to walk barefoot across the stones. Sometimes I wade through the shallow water just to embrace its fluid element, my hair often crazy and loose, being pulled by and flying in the wind. I can be glamorous if I want to, although makeup was never my thing. And I've learnt that life is for living, not fearing, and so I absorb it like a sponge. Grand rising, everyone. Every time I get to the end of that beginning, I think, have I done something wrong? Have I missed something? But I don't think so. I'm here, and hopefully there's an audience out there on this slightly miserable Monday morning in Melbourne. I've got a wonderful earthworm woman type woman to come on today, who lives on the other side of Australia. But before that, I just wanted to say, in the last few days, I've attempted, and it's only a sample, to make a little video of Madalena's products. Now I did it, and I realized afterwards I could change the volume, so I can actually I can adapt that and change it. But she said, "Oh, I've not given you the correct containers." So I've put it out there. It's just here. This is something I could do, and I can put it on here to advertise people's products, to advertise people's businesses. And then if you wanted to sell like through me, obviously sell everywhere, but sell through, if you sold anything through me, you could make it like an affiliate, or like I would get a small percentage of sales that came through Earthworm Woman. It's just one way of helping me and helping small businesses and things like that. And I have to say, I'm not allowed. Where's the here? Madalena's products are just they just smell absolutely exquisite, and they have a beautiful thick consistency. So when I'm really excited, she's going to send me some new products, and I'm going to make a better video, and we'll do that. But today I am talking to Penny Champ, and here comes Penny. Penny is all kinds of things, but she's the Wild Sister Wisdom is her group project, one of her projects that she does. But before that, she sent me a book called Meet Me at the Well, which is a year of verses to strengthen and nourish a woman's soul. So, sorry, we're a little bit biased, aren't we? We're very much women. So welcome, Penny. And I just want to ask you, first of all, why women for you?
Wow. Thank you for that lovely introduction, by the way. Women. Well, it's quite a personal story for me, starting actually at my birth. I was born with a fistula, which is basically a wounding or a deformity of the vagina. And I was actually open from front to back. So there was no anus, there was no vagina, just open. So quite serious.
Wow.
And I was very, very lucky to have been born in Oxford, where at that time in the 60s, surgeons were amazing. And they saved my life. I didn't come out with it with a stoma bag, which is quite miraculous even in today's terms. So I was very, very blessed. And I had quite a difficult childhood and early teenage life because of that. And so I just became really passionate about how women, as I matured over time, how women are wounded in so many ways. So it's kind of, I felt like I've been born with this wound, and that that this was my calling, to empower women, whatever their wound, whether it's genetic, if you believe in that, whether it's past life, whether it's accident, whether it's the culture and the way it does wound us as women in terms of our rites of passage, in terms of being mothers, in terms of our first bleeding, in terms of our menopause.
That's an amazing, I'm sorry, keep going, but I
Yeah.
didn't realize what that question would bring, but you're so
Yeah.
correct.
It's a big one. Yes.
Yeah.
So I've always had this core sort of issue around how can I empower women with the gifts I have? And of course, when you're a young woman, you don't know what your gifts are, but they've developed over time. I feel like I've been led really into all the places I needed to be without really consciously going where I needed to go, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Well, that's
Yeah.
really interesting. I mean, because
Yeah.
the earthworm woman word just came into my head one morning when I was on the beach. And I was like, I
Mm,
don't know, what's that about? What? And then I realized, earthworm woman, it's very resilient. It gets up and starts again. It can create itself, or not change itself like a chameleon, but it is very, very tough and able to
mm,
get back up from things. And I feel like that's me. And
mm.
what you're saying there is actually really, it's just really quite moving, because it's so true. That's what we have. A lot of different battles in our lives. A lot of them we keep maybe quiet or private,
Yes.
but um, I've had the same sort of drawing to just do. I mean, there are men come on here, absolutely perfectly fine, and I really
Gorgeous.
want to also bring men on to talk about
Totally.
men as well. But
Lovely,
it
lovely.
seems to be predominantly
Mm,
women, and why not? We need to hear a lot about the things that perhaps we're not allowed to talk about, or all the growth factors like you're talking about. And what you're doing is lots of incredibly interesting things. Can I just read one of these
of
verses?
course.
Me
Yeah, I'd
if
love that. Thank you.
And it's because it's called Wild Edge Woman.
Mm,
It says Wild Edge Woman. I name myself she who has a large soul song to sing. I stand on the edge of the circle that says, I am too much or I am not enough. I am Wild Edge Woman, with a dance so unique, so loving, so joyful, and so wise, that the circling sun above laughs at my rejoicing, and the
mm,
earth beneath my feet cradles me, supporting my soul song in power and in tenderness.
mhm.
Sorry, I didn't read that properly in the middle bit. I only just picked that up. So,
Beautiful.
but
Thank you. It's
that's
beautiful.
yeah, and so we're strong, we're wild, we're all kinds of things, and we can be soft, and we can
Mm,
be vulnerable.
mm. Yes, and we can be loud and wild as well.
Yeah,
I
I mean, I
think,
found a
yeah.
picture of mine, from I just shared a thing on my Facebook page today from some photos I did, and I thought, well, that's my "Don't fuck with me" picture. One of them, kind of very, well, it's a bit of a corporate one for acting shots and everything, but, that's me, and that's
Yes,
often mothers, you know?
yes, yes, yes. And I think, we grow up often, well, I know I did, because of that surgery and everything I had as a young
Mm,
woman. I was often on the outside of the circle, and I think that made me
mm,
always be a bit on the wild edge. And,
yeah,
and then also growing up culturally, I think probably really common for many of us as women in that time, we weren't supposed to be different, loud, express our needs, express our feelings. So it was like you were either too much, but you could also, as a woman, be not enough. And
mm,
that's a really, and I'm sure it's the same for all human beings, not just women. It's
Yeah.
always this balance, you know, am I being too
So
much?
you're
Am I
talking
being
about
not
going
enough?
into adulthood here, or as
Yeah,
kids?
yeah,
Yeah. Because when I was
yeah.
a child, I never spoke. I was one of those absolutely terrifyingly
Oh, yeah.
shy people.
Wow, look at
It
you
wasn't
now.
until I went well, it wasn't
You're
until I
not
went to
shy now.
no, no, I went to America and, because 'cause we'd lived in New Zealand for a little while, it was a strange situation where, um, me and my sister, and I still was really shy then, we met, an exchange student from New Zealand who'd come over, was at the same school, and the school had asked her to go around and talk about New Zealand because in America, not many they didn't know where New Zealand was. It was Los Angeles, and so anyway, and they said, "Well, do you want to do it too?" I was like, "I can't speak in front of people," and I did start to, and I remember that must have been absolutely petrifying, but it did get me into thinking about I mean, both my parents were actors, so it probably was there a little bit and already there, but I started doing theatre and dance first of all, so and that was the way I could find my voice. I felt
Yes,
on stage, but anyway, that's me. Um,
yes,
but having a voice is really important,
it
you
really is
know?
important. Yes, for all of us, absolutely. And bringing our
Um,
children up to have a voice. I think, you know, that's our job, isn't it, as parents, that they
yes.
always feel confident enough in themselves to express their needs and their opinions.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got a very strong daughter. It's really
I
good,
do
very
too.
good. Yeah.
So we've done our job. We can tick the box.
Scary sometimes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Bless
Yeah.
them.
Exactly. Absolutely, I agree. Um, I haven't aged since 2016. I think I have.
Gorgeous.
Anyway, so tell me about some of your projects then. What about Wild Sister Wisdom?
Yeah. So Wild Sister Wisdom is kind of, I guess, the mother or the mama umbrella that encompasses everything I do.
Mm.
So that's my sacred drum making, teaching women to make drums,
Ah.
making drums, doing drum circles. That's my book, Meet Me at the Well. That's my circles. That's my retreats. Um,
Mm.
that sort of covers everything that I do. Pilgrimages, whatever's coming in the future. So that all comes under Wild Sister Wisdom, and it's
Yep.
basically about, you know, being a woman who's standing in her wildness and growing in her wisdom, which of course we all are every day, aren't we? We're growing.
And how long have you been running this, or how
Wild
long has it
Sister
been going?
Wisdom has been going for about 6 years.
Mm.
Before that, I had a beautiful business with my gorgeous, loveliest friend, Anne Marie Hoyne, which was called the Women's Hearth.
Mhm.
And that was 15 years we did that together. She moved to Margaret River. And so that was about 6 years ago. And so we did do quite a bit after she'd moved, but it was really hard to continue the business
Mm.
while she was down there.
I gotta hire my house.
And then I've been in the UK for 2.5 years. I've just been back for 8 months. I went back to look after my mother.
Oh,
We were
okay.
talking about
You
that
mean
earlier.
you live in England most of the time?
No, no, no. I've
No.
just been there though for 2.5
Oh,
years
okay.
while my mother was really
2.5
unwell and
years,
dying.
right.
And so I did Wild Sister Wisdom over there, which was fantastic.
Wow.
And but yes, so the Women's Hearth was a big, big part of my life for 15, 16 years. And we're probably going to start now. I'm settled more back here, and she has settled in Margaret River. We're going to do more
Mm.
work together again going forward. So it's
What's the
been
woman's half? Do you wanna talk about that, or you
Women's Hearth
prefer
was women's circles and women's retreats. Yeah. So we'd go away for weekends with groups of women and explore the seasons of a woman's life, the cycles of a woman's life. It
Mm.
was mainly around that. So we'd go back and do first bleeding ceremonies with women. We did we do a whole program for a whole year, which would be around medicine women.
Ah,
And
okay.
yeah, so we had some great adventures. Some pretty
There's a
wild ones
guy
and some
there's a
very
guy, I don't
profound.
know him, but I know him on Facebook and everything, called Brad, who does very similar things, I think they're very mixed. He's up in, I think his name's Brad. I might get him on one day. He does drumming, makes the drums, and does the whole
Yes.
drumming workshops and things. But yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, that's lovely. Tell me about the because I think one word I picked up was you facilitate. Oh, what was it called? Your the things where you go away, the weekends and everything. What do you call those?
Retreats.
Oh,
So
yeah, there was something else I
yeah.
can't remember. I should have written it down. The way you described that retreat.
So is
Mm.
it one that I've got coming up that you were looking
Yes,
at,
one
or?
that you it was on the page, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yes, we've got I've got one coming up in Bali in September, which is called Rest and Renewal. And it's in a remote part of Bali. So it's a quiet
Mm.
place in Bali, old Bali, which unfortunately is disappearing by the day. Um,
Oh, is it? Wow, okay.
yeah,
I
it's
know
really
s
sad.
mm,
So I'm actually co-facilitating that with two beautiful women, one who lives there and happily speaks fluent Indonesian, which helps very much if you want to do work in Bali.
yeah, yeah.
And it's basically getting women to, so it's 7 days of exploring their relationship to rest. And that part of the cycle, again, it's coming back to seasons and cycles, really.
Mm,
And we are such cyclical beings, women. And how do we relate to rest? How do we bring rest into our lives? And how can we really bring good practice into our lives? You know, rest is a spiritual practice, really. And as we get older, we need more rest. And in this mad world, we need more rest. So we'll
mm,
be exploring that through sitting in circle, storytelling. So I'm also a storyteller.
yeah.
Um, we'll be doing some cacao ceremony. There's saunas, ice baths. The
Mm.
ocean there is exquisite, beautiful swimming. The food's exquisite. Um,
Wow, and
organic,
it's just
prepared
what you were
food.
talking about before with rest. I mean, that can mean many things, like you were saying to
Yes,
me,
yes,
because I need to see where I'm going or blah, blah, blah. Or not really see where I'm going, but organize it, and you were talking about rest. So rest
yeah.
is, also just about stopping and,
Stopping, yeah.
hit
So that's right. And this retreat, there are activities, but there's a lot of rest and just being time factored in. So the whole idea is exploring through creativity, ceremony, story, um, your relationship to rest. We'll be doing beautiful arts and crafts, and then
Mm.
how can we bring things into our life that support us in our rest, and also
Mm,
while we're there in Bali, having lots of rest and having
because
massage.
well, I've never been to Bali. I'd love to, but that's so important. I've started a TikTok just because, hey, why not? That's what you do
Well
with a girl,
done.
earthworm woman. And one
That's
of the
right.
things I was saying, I think, in one of them was exactly about that because about this allowing ourselves to stop. I mean, especially now that I'm on my own, I really find it easier to take that time and just
Yes,
go, okay, you're allowed to sit here and really just contemplate and think. And not that I wasn't allowed before. It's more I think sometimes you don't give yourself that time. There's always something else to do or feel like
yes.
I'm taking up too much time or so I do make sure that I really take just actually really stop and go inside and really,
Mm.
try and feel the right way forward or try and feel whether something's the right thing or not.
Yes. And it's so important, I think, to do that for our mental health and for our work. And I think we can be more productive and more creative if we
Mm,
filled up that chalice, if we filled up that cup with really good, deep rest.
mm.
And it's something I have not in my life been very good at, and as an older woman, I'm really learning much more
Well,
about
that's
that and
the same.
cultivating. Yeah,
Exactly, me too. I've
yeah,
always been, like, running, okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but going back, if you don't have to go into any more details, but as a child,
Mm.
what age was it that you sort of got fixed? Was that as a baby or,
So I had major surgery pretty much 2 days after I was born.
right, okay.
I was christened in the hospital because they thought that I was, and in those days you had to be christened, or otherwise you couldn't be buried in a church. They didn't think I would
Oh,
actually make it, but I did. And then I
mm,
had to have quite a lot of treatment for the next 4 years just to stay healthy and well and not infected and to go to the toilet. And then
mm,
when I was 4, I had major reconstruction surgery. Yeah. And
wow.
then by the time I was 13, I think I was, um, functioning properly.
Even though, you would then, those childhood years, it was almost better though that it happened, so that it was obviously it was found early, but,
Yeah.
that you weren't aware,
No.
enough.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I was aware growing up that I was different because it did impact my life. I couldn't go on
mm,
school trips,
right.
'cause I couldn't go to toilet, basically. Um,
Mm.
so until I was 13, and then just miraculously, I just could.
Even
Don't wanna
though
go
they
into
had
too
surgery, the
much detail.
reconstruction. Wow.
Yeah, so I've been very lucky, and I have to just honour my mother in this, as much as my relationship with her has always been very tricky.
Mm,
She kept me alive really for 4 years.
yep.
Yeah, and it was hard for them, and there was a lot of, and they protected me in that they never really told anyone, because you can imagine going to school and other kids knowing that that
Mm.
was going
Oh
on
my
for me.
goodness. Yeah,
But it
yeah.
but it made me grew up feeling a little bit, um, different, and shame. So shame's been a big one from that experience.
Wow.
So I've done a lot of work on that too.
Yeah.
And I think that's, again, comes back to the wounding we all experience in different ways through our lives. But for my particular interest is the wounding of the feminine, and the shame. There's so much shame to be, it's getting better, but the shame in the feminine, and historically, culturally, socially. Yeah, that
That's it.
fascinates me.
Absolutely, and so shame is an interesting word to use there,
Mm,
because now it's like we've talked sometimes probably about this, but, young women especially, it's all about the looks. It's all
mm,
so much about can't go out without this, can't go out without that, and, comparing, and they can do this online, they can do that online, and most things are online, um, and I think I use the word worth maybe a lot because there's no worth in
mm,
young people, a lot of young people, and so they put their worth in having to look the same, even though they
mm.
aren't all the same. They're different within that, but there's sort of standards and things,
Yes.
um, and that's a different kind of shame, I suppose. Like,
Yes.
well, I'm too embarrassed to be seen because I'm not exactly
Yes.
blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You had a whole
Yes.
'nother level there as a child, um, which
Yeah.
is now if that was now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's been the biggest gift for me, because it's just made me really resilient, and really, like, I'm not gonna let anything stop me. Um,
No.
I think I was born a fighter
Oh,
anyway,
so
so,
so yeah, so
you
at
know.
13 you thought that, yeah. I just wanna
Yeah.
quickly say Mantra's comment here. A friend of mine came on Sunday and she looked at me and said, "Do you ever stop?" I nearly burst into tears realizing, no, I don't. I literally realized how exhausted I was. Exactly. The
Yes.
question popped up, am I so busy to cover sadness and things I don't want to think about? The rest of
Mm.
the day was sitting with my friend in meditation, tea,
Mm.
small conversations, and relaxation. Well, there we go. See?
Beautiful. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to be forced or held a mirror up to say,
Mm.
so there's the two things here. We're talking about young people, but then the mothers, mostly the mothers, but not always mothers, who will do anything. I mean, I've got a friend, and I did make a comment on her thing this morning, so she can, if she doesn't want me mentioning her, I won't say her name, but, you know, she's got, an what do you call it? A brain injury, ABI, that she got from falling down stairs in Thailand. She tripped on
Mm.
her dress,
Oh.
hit her head on an electricity box, and has
Mm.
had that ever since. You know, I met her before, and so I know the person she was. And she's, you know, she is such a fighter, and she set herself up. Because of that, she's moved around from here to there to try and work out the best thing for her to continue to live as much as the best life she can.
Mm.
She even put herself on a houseboat for a little while there. She said it was actually quite good for her to be swaying.
Mm,
But she
mm.
had cats on that boat. She didn't have a dog yet, but she had cats on that boat.
Gosh.
And then she moved out to Stratford, and she has bought a place there, and she did all the garden. She set it up, growing almond trees and all kinds of things, passion fruits,
Beautiful.
pumpkin, blah blah blah. But she can't live there, and so she's actually now selling that place. And one of the reasons why she's also selling it is her son, who is an adult, has a brain tumor,
Oh gosh.
and a major. It's incurable, but you know, never say never.
Yeah.
He's already had an operation, and he also now has the same symptoms of a brain injury because of that. So
Wowee.
she's there for him. I would
Mm.
love to get her on here, but eventually I will talk to her. But
Mm.
she's there for him, and as much as she can be, because some days it's impossible for her to actually do things because, you know, that apparently they get
Mm.
major headaches, major like migraine type headaches, and just dizzy, vertigo, not able to do anything. But she is an incredible warrior woman, and
Mm.
she's standing beside her son now for whatever happens. You know, she's shown him all kinds of other things, and he's doing the normal way right now, but he and I really hope, yeah, an acquired brain injury. I really hope that there's a positive outcome, because she put a post up saying she took her son overseas, so I don't know how many years ago before her injury, I think it was, because as a single mum, because she was a single mum, she felt like her son was always hanging around her work, you know, because she was a chef, and he didn't get proper holiday. So I think she's very glad that she did that. Anyway, just a shout out to you, Kim. Amazing,
Oh, blessings to
amazing woman.
Kim. What a
Yeah.
journey.
So
Wow.
so she's in that
Yes.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants to buy a place in Stratford, it's an incredible place.
Sounds nice.
But so yeah, so that's an example of us women who,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
there's, as I said, not everyone has had children, but the connection
No.
when you do is inseparable.
Yes. That's right. Yes. And you know, in those kind of situations, caring for elderly parents, as you know, caring for children, working in the community, whatever it is we do as mothers, and you know, we don't have to have children to be mothers either. You
Mm.
know, we can be mothers of amazing
Yes,
projects, be
yes.
mothers of a garden. Um,
Yeah.
it is really hard. And I saw a lovely comment come up there, saying, you know, balance is key. And
Yes.
in those situations, it's not always easy to find a balance.
Mm.
And um, and we're not culturally supported to find balance either, because you know we've been brought up and we are still being, you know, go quicker, get more, do more, you know, have more, and do it quickly, you know, and you are only worthy because you've done this and this.
Look what you've
um,
achieved. Yeah, yeah.
we're not supported there, and then we have big lives as women, and
Mm.
as human beings we all do.
Mm.
It's about balance, and one of the things I think I'm really well, I am really passionate about is that balance. And also, you asked me, you mentioned in an email to me, about rites of passage and initiation, and I guess my
Oh,
whole
that's
life, you know,
yes.
as an adult, has been around that, in all kinds of ways. And what I'm really interested in is how we can find small moments of initiation or rites of passage in our daily lives that bring in nourishment and bring in inspiration, bring in new ideas. clearing, finding clarity in really small ways that are still powerful in a way as an initiation or a rite of passage. But it's having a rhythm and routine around that in your daily life. And it can be really small, it can be really small. It can be standing on the edge of the park and looking at a tree and having just a quiet moment, feeling into the earth, feeling into the cosmos, asking questions of yourself, asking questions of whoever you relate to. That in itself is a rite of passage, because you've renewed yourself and you've resurrected, and I'm really interested in how do women resurrect, and they do it all the time as well anyway. But if we can do it consciously and in a way that nourishes us through rest, through contemplation, through quiet times, I think that's what I'm really interested in. And I'm really interested in how that heals us, how it heals our families, our community, and I'm interested in how we heal this crazy world, and I think rest
Yeah.
is an answer.
Well, I
Yeah,
think
and I think
the rites of passage is what I was trying to remember.
yes,
Exactly. So,
yes,
and I was wondering what you meant by that, and you've just clarified that.
yeah,
Exactly. And Anna's just put this comment about, it's about people being productive, but well, it's not
yes,
really, but it's really about just being busy all the time, which
yes,
is not healthy. And you might be busy and you might have spent, so much of your time, but have you actually achieved what you want to achieve, or are you?
mm,
Is it a good thing? I mean, of course, that doesn't really matter if you haven't, because doing is also achieving. Even if
yes,
it's not doesn't work out. But
yes,
I'm also the same. I think very similar. I like to I like to do things. I like to try things, and if it doesn't work, doesn't matter. At least I've tried it.
yes, yes,
Um,
yes, you've tried it, absolutely. There's a lot of wisdom in that, isn't there? A lot of wisdom in that.
yeah, because it's not wrong to fail as well.
No,
You know,
no, that's
Failing is about
absolutely right.
learning. It's
Mm,
about finding, okay, well, what did I do wrong there? Um, and maybe it's a good fail or it's a bad fail. It doesn't really matter. Someone's put a Trump. I'm not going to put that Trump thing up there. Um, yeah. So at the moment, especially like you said, this in this world, we don't really know even what we'll be looking at in a few years from now, what we will be able to do. But I think one thing perhaps that we know is the human connection. Actually
yes,
continuing to connect with humans is vital.
yes,
They're trying to get us to do the opposite, of course.
that's
They're trying
right.
to get us to do
That's right.
everything through AI, everything online, which, I mean, there is online for a reason, of course.
Yes.
Um, I started to watch this thing on Rumble this morning, which I have to watch, and it's all about the digital ID. And it started
Mm,
with Huxley. Aldous Huxley, was it him? Or
mm,
maybe Brave New World, is that his?
yeah. Yep.
Um, and when was that written? So
That
they were
a while ago. Yeah.
they were talking about that, but not the digital ID, but us being taken over to extend humans such a long time ago.
It's
And
coming.
if we allow it, if we
Yeah.
allow it,
It's
if
coming.
we
Yeah.
allow, if the mass of human population allow
Yeah.
it, who are we going to be?
That's right. Who will we be? That's right. Where, yeah, absolutely. Will we be expanding in our amazing gifts that make us human? No, we won't, because we're handing them over, aren't we?
That's right. And
Yeah.
we know what we're resisting. We know to keep resisting in all kinds of things. I'm just going to answer your question, Jason. He's about 37. This son have a glioblastoma, brain tumor. I don't know, but I know that he's open to all protocols. So
Mm.
he's doing what he's doing at the moment. So yeah, I'll remember that for afterwards. I'll have a look at your comment. So A lot of wisdom connected with self to sitting and getting to know yourself. Yes, that's right. Sitting,
That's
getting to know
right.
yourself, because that's the
Yes,
only way you can make the right changes as well.
that's right. It's the only way you know what you need. And
Or
yeah, and how you're gonna grow, if we don't
love
listen.
yourself, learn to love yourself,
Yeah,
like yourself,
yeah.
Um, digital ID papers, please. That is what's ahead. So we're talking a bit all over the place, but what it's all connected. It's all about I don't remember actually why I got onto the digital ID.
We're
uh,
talking about AI, and
well, it's just because I suppose we're
we're
talking
having
about,
older wise women moment where we've
yeah,
just lost the thread, but it's gonna come back in a minute because our
yeah. So
intuition
it's
is
about. I
strong.
think it's probably about being human, being true to yourself, and
Yeah.
what they're trying to do to us. That's right. In
Yes,
this time
separate us. Yes.
is
So
absolutely.
separate us, because when we're separate, we're powerless in a way, aren't we?
Mm.
So absolutely, being strong
And
in community is gonna
And
be
we have to
really
keep
important going
taking our
forward.
coconut oil because that's for memory and things like that. Apparently, that's against Alzheimer's and, all of that stuff. Coconut, that's what I heard. But that was just more, yeah, with a train of thread. I mean, a thread of words. Well, you know what I'm saying.
We
I
do
lost
know what
my
you're saying.
thread. I lost my thread. Um And so things like your, retreats and with
Yes.
women, I mean, it probably, I'd imagine, brings up, maybe someone that's never done something like that, who's
Yeah.
never opened up to another. I mean, women do open up to women, I must say,
Yes,
quite a
they
bit,
do. Yeah.
but perhaps has things that they've not said.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. And that comes up in a lot of my work, and a lot of
mm,
the work I did with the Women's Hearth, and it
yeah.
particularly comes up when a woman's making a drum. So making a drum
Oh,
is a
okay.
very deep initiation, because suddenly women are faced with something that's actually quite a hard task. It's
Mm,
physical, you've got to have strong hands, you've got to do a lot of pulling, you've got to do a lot of cutting. Um, you have to keep going because the thing is wet and you can't let it dry, otherwise,
right.
it's set in
Yes.
stone. Um, So that can bring up a lot of stuff. So that is powerful. It can bring up birthing experiences. Um, so the importance in that kind of situation, or any of the work I do in circle or in retreat space,
Mm,
is always about safe space, really safe space. So it's not about therapy, but it's
mm,
about holding people in their truth, always creating safe space before we begin anything, making
mm,
people feel safe and comfortable so they can cry while they're making a drum, cry because they never sit down and have a rest,
mm,
cry, whatever. I mean, we all have so much that we don't often give time because we're busy
mm.
producing. We don't let come to the surface, and these spaces allow that to come.
Yeah. Shush.
And
See,
then
that's
mostly other
exactly.
women had the same experience. They feel the same.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
it's
That's what,
and then you go,
Donna,
"Oh, okay, it's not just me."
what Mantra just said, that even someone suggesting that she's always going brought her, made her emotional.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we also, like, you obviously happens there, we should be allowed to go into sorrow as well.
Yes.
Have a
Yes.
good cry, get it out. I
Yes.
mean, there's all kinds of reasons for that, can be. I mean, I actually haven't even cried over my dad's death.
I understand that. Yeah. You will when you're ready.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm.
Like I said, we have all kinds of parents, and you mentioned your mum,
We
so
do. Yes, we do. Yeah.
same with my parents, both
Yeah.
of them. So I was, but he did find love at the end, a different kind of love at the end, and a
That's
bit of
good.
regret, which was probably he needed to stay as long as he did, maybe to have that, to express that.
Yeah.
Um, but I just, yeah, maybe I will, but I don't even know what it is I would be, feeling sorrowful for. I mean, it's certainly not
Yes.
the loss of
Yeah,
him being
yeah,
here on this planet
yeah,
because
and
his time was up. Yeah. And
yeah,
I
and
mean,
but
sorry, that
I
sounds
think, yeah, grief is such an amazing, powerful healing tool because it can it can trigger sorrow, which is a beautiful word. It's so nice to hear
mm,
you use it. Um, for all kinds of things in our lives. That's not
mm,
even about that loss. And that's why
yes.
funerals are so powerful and why I've seen this movement, um, because I'm also a funeral celebrant, and
Yeah.
I've seen this movement, particularly in the UK, and I think it's coming here where people are having unattended cremations. And yeah, it's cheaper. Yeah, it's quicker. Yeah,
Mm,
it's more efficient. But what it's not giving is the community that time to come together and connect. Interestingly, we were just talking about that.
mm,
And for grief, for that loss of whoever that is, to also trigger other healing. And I just, and to do that collectively is really powerful. And
yes.
yeah,
Well, um, just on that note, we did have that. I did have that because I'm the only one here for a start. But
yes,
and sadly, my parents didn't have any connections for a long time.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and that was their thing. They wanted to be cremated.
No,
So,
fair enough too. Fair
but
enough.
what our thing now is because there's 6 of us and we're all over the world. Is what should we do? You know,
Yes,
should we now come together somewhere and spread their ashes? We're just trying to work that one out. Is should it be some sort of ceremony? What should it be?
that's a big one.
Because I've got both of the ashes, and I
Yes,
told my
that's a
dad
big one.
that I was
Yeah,
kept my mum until And when I said before that his time was up, that's not meaning it in a mean way. What I meant was
no,
he was suffering for a long time, so
yeah, I get
I
that.
didn't.
Yeah,
It was very hard to see that and be
my
around
mother
someone who's
too. Yeah,
yeah
I was
sitting in
so
a room by
glad.
himself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not.
absolutely.
There's no dignity in that,
No,
and it
in
to see it
nappies and
no.
like I was saying before, not knowing whether his clothes were dirty, when did he last have a shower, anything.
Yeah,
Um,
no,
so and with going to the sadness and the things like that, yes, you can be sad, obviously, if someone dies suddenly or whatever, and you can also feel sad for losing a parent, but there's also the sadness perhaps of what you didn't have when they
that's
were
right,
here.
that's
So
right.
that could be
Yes,
that you're
and
actually
sadness,
grieving.
yeah, and
Yeah.
sadness about what they didn't have in their lives, unrequited lives,
Oh,
and
absolutely. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we learn such great things from that. We learn such great things from that because we just get on with our own lives and
We
not have
do.
an unrequited life.
We do. That's right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if your mum's like my mum, but I feel like my mother could have had could have done so much more.
Yes, absolutely.
Um, and did. I mean, when she was younger, she was actually come on then. Sorry, my dog wants to get up. Come on, Olive. Um, it's not Iggy, don't worry. He's not Iggy's the big dog. It's only the little one.
No,
She was an actor and she was doing really well, really well. Um, and then that was her choice as well, of course. She stopped and had 6 kids and just never went back.
yeah, that was it.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but, I do
Yeah,
wonder whether there was some, wish she could have done something else again or whatever. But, her life was, did a lot of interesting things.
yeah,
Um, but but you were saying that if the loss for him feeling a bit sad for them, and yeah, I did feel sad for my dad in the
yeah,
end. He was a
yeah,
a man that he was in England during the war, and as a child had to be. We talked about this a few times had to be sent away, evacuated with his brother, and always. I think he really looked up to his brother, so he always felt like he was the failure, perhaps, and the brother was the good one who did
yeah,
everything.
family things.
Olive, they're
Yeah.
talking about you, honey. You want to say hi? There she is.
I just saw a really good comment there come up. I think it was Belinda, and it said
Yeah.
that she doesn't know how to grieve
Mm.
and but the sorrow that comes
There we
up,
go.
yeah, here it is,
Unfortunate sorrow
beautiful, pops
pops
up out
up
of
out of
nowhere.
nowhere.
Yeah, and that is grief as well. I think
Mm,
grief is not one thing, and, they say there's the stages of grief, and there are stages of grief, but they don't happen like, well, you're gonna go through this stage and then that stage. They're they can be all over the place, and that popping up of sorrow, it's like it's almost like that is your grief as your companion. It's like grief can be your constant companion, even though you're
yeah.
not sort of sitting on your shoulder, even though you're not thinking about it all the time, and it's not in your consciousness all the time. And and grief's not necessarily about someone we've lost either. It can be
Mm,
many things. And I think for someone, and I know this experience myself because I've lost two parents in 4 years, and some very close friends as well, is journaling is really helpful. Journaling, just without censoring what you're writing, and also tiny little rituals, light a candle, have a little fire in the garden. Just think about them. Again, it's
yeah,
that balance, make some time. And
yeah.
I think we're scared that our grief will overwhelm us and we'll never come back from it. And it can
Mm,
feel like that, but we always do come back from it. And that release is good for our health on all
mm.
levels.
Do you
Yeah.
find anything specific, Belinda, that triggers or brings it on, you know? Don't know
Mm.
triggers, but, or is it just it is in you? Maybe just go with it like Penny's saying, and it's not a bad thing. That's I lost 2 parents in 4 years too, in 3 years,
Wow.
actually, in 3 years.
Both in the
Um,
UK?
no, they're both here.
Oh,
They're
they're
both here.
both here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Suddenly you are an orphan,
Well, yeah,
which
but
is a
it's
weird feeling.
I was thinking about that yesterday because I was meeting up with some friends, and I realized all of our parents were dead.
Yeah.
None of us
That's
had.
an unusual
Um,
feeling too. Yeah.
yeah, so, one of them's mum had died when she was 50, I think, or even less, I think in her 40s. Um, yeah, and, but, it's okay because, I
Yeah.
mean, number 1, there's 6 in my family, so we're very good together.
Yeah.
Um Anyway, so Belinda says, "Often music can be very hard." Yeah, so that's music's great, but also
Yes.
maybe, like you said, call it hard, but to me, I love it actually when a song makes me feel, or words make me
Mm.
feel, emotional,
Yeah.
like you said about writing things down, I do that a lot. I do exactly
Mm.
that, I write things down,
Mm.
and I did say I was gonna write a poem yesterday, and it didn't come out, but I love writing poetry,
Yes.
and
So
like we talked about.
it could be, yeah, it could be writing is a good
Mm,
way to transform feelings, but
mm,
maybe movement, maybe movement, move it, dance it to the music,
mm.
um, or dialogue it, it's everyone's
She's in
different.
Melbourne, isn't she, Belinda? I think you're in Melbourne. I need to meet you. I think I need to meet you. Um,
That's right.
because there's all kinds of things, you could even do, well, whatever, I don't know, but, um, it's probably what you do, the kind of the workshopy things around getting releasing
Yes,
what's in us, and then it's like a big
processing.
purge you've got.
Yes.
Um, this person, how do you pronounce that name? "I travel alone and enjoy it, have a friend who carries on about me traveling alone. How sad,"
Mhm.
which is annoying.
Mm.
What other choice do I have? But I really don't mind it.
Good
Travel alone as in
one.
this planet, in this world.
I love that too. I love traveling on my own. I
Yeah, me
cannot get
too.
enough of
Yeah.
it. So I really get that. But for some people, it's an alien concept.
Hmm. Oh, yeah. Exactly. So heavy metal gets her going, and Jason's still grieving. Um, oh,
Wow, that's an interesting one.
is that
Yes,
real?
maybe. Is that real, Jason?
Are you taking the piss? No, you're not. Maybe. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Explain. Um, so Belinda loves the idea of the rituals. Yeah. for grief, like lighting
Yeah.
candles. Absolutely.
Yes.
Or whatever it is that's your thing.
Yeah, whatever works. Like if you've got a drum, maybe drumming works, you know,
Mm.
craft, art, doodling without an end product, you know, just doing it because um,
Well, you made us
the
laugh. You're trying
process
to
is
cheer
the
us up. I think we're not sorry. We're not solemn.
mm,
I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite at the moment. I'm very positive and just talking about the fact because you can be laughing and you can be crying at the same time. You can be
that's
sad,
right.
but it
Yeah.
could be sad crying, but you can be laughing,
Yes.
sad happy. It's not like you're laughing from a
No,
joke so much that you're
you're
crying.
not
That can happen
you're not
too. But
swimming in it necessarily, no. I
yeah,
mean, I can, yeah, absolutely, I can have a little cry and, about all sorts of things. And in fact, I know when I need to, and it can be a very short cry. And then I'm like, right, it's almost like, again, another mini initiation, right? I'm clear, I'm cleansed. Let's go for life, make the best of it and have, you know,
and of course,
celebrate.
Jason, did you not realize to be watching this program and to be a guest, you have to be pure? We, we are
Yes, we only
the
want virgins. What are
we're
you
the
doing on here,
purest,
Jason?
the purest on here, and we are cleansed to the max. Cleansed and grounded, and we know everything. Yeah, we
Oh,
got it
all the
all
time,
sorted.
all of the time. Well,
So come
we're
on.
a prayer. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, prayer is
Look, I'm really
good.
interested to hear a little bit more about the rites of passage thing.
Mm.
So do you go there in the workshops and things, or is that just something you talk about yourself? Um,
So, sorry, what do you mean? What? So,
oh, you're talking about how we have rites of passage
mm,
as women.
yes,
Is that something you kind of look at in the workshops, or is that just you're just making
yes,
a kind of a comment? Yeah. Okay.
yes.
Mm.
So, it depends really on the circle or the series of circles what we're dealing with. So, we did one that was specifically rites of passage. We had a whole year. We did
Oh, okay.
8 rites of passage through that year for a woman's life,
Mm,
starting at and we worked with an amazing woman's work called Carolyn Hillier, her 8 bead program.
mm.
And the first one is womb waters. So that was exploring what was it like to be in the womb? What was it like
Wow.
preconception? And we
Yep.
did work around that. So there would have been meditation, there would have been dance, there would have been sharing.
Mm,
And we went through then first blood, which is, so we did a whole ceremony of how would you have liked your mother to deal with your first bleeding? You know,
mm,
so we all gave each other flowers and said beautiful things, ate beautiful food. And then fruit mother, which is when we become a mother, whether that's of children or our lives. Fruit mother, what's your road like? The winding path. They followed a road with pictures of what's important to them and they pick things up and they let things go while women are drumming and singing. Fruit
mm.
mother. Then there's Spin Woman. Now, Spin Woman is really interesting because this is a woman who's still got children, got elderly parents. She's building her career. We see her as she's got plates on sticks and she's got
Yeah.
10. She's keeping them
Yeah.
all going. Sometimes one crashes. So we did a lot around Spin Woman. We created spiral jewelry. We did singing, meditation,
Mm,
explored that, whether we were in that really in life or we were coming towards that or we'd gone past that. And that phase lasts a long time into other periods of a woman's life these days. Kind of
mm.
it's been stretched out because
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes we've had our children late,
Mm,
you know, our parents are young, they get Alzheimer's young, you know, that
mm,
period we're still building our
mhm.
careers. So that can go on and on. Then there's mid-woman where she's premenopausal, she's changing, so we did work around that. I don't actually remember that one so well. But then we went into earth crone, which was menopause.
Yeah.
And then we went into earth crone, which was deepening into menopause, becoming an older, wiser, elder woman. And then
Mm.
we did bone crone, which is my particular favorite, where
Wow.
you're dying. And we had a coffin
Mm.
and we had flowers, and we put flowers in. We spoke about how we want our death to be, how we want our funerals to be. We sang Amazing Grace. We all wore white, and there were a lot of, we talked about grief as well. We talked about people who we loved had died. There were a lot of tears. And then we had an Irish jig, and we did an Irish wake, and we danced like crazy, Irish jigs around the coffin, and we even got in the coffin.
Whoa.
And it was wild.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's one example of some of the work I've done with Anne-Marie Hoyne. Very powerful, very powerful,
Yeah.
and playful, you know,
I'm
playful.
just gonna put your, it's on your page. It's on the bottom of you, the wise woman, I'm just sorry, I've just got a big comment in the way.
Yeah.
Wild Sister Wisdom.
Yeah.
So that's a website. People can go to you at
Yes.
Wild
That's
Sister
the website.
Wisdom. Yeah,
Yes.
and if you're interested in anything, we've been talking about, if you're interested, so you're an earth crown, in going to
Wherever
Bali
you're
and
at.
doing a workshop, or yeah. I have Fiona on here sometimes, who is in Bali. It's doing fascia release,
Mhm.
and she's actually studying. Do you know the human garage? Or
No.
garage. So it's a man. He's an American guy, and it's his way of all about releasing everything in
Mm.
you. He will show you how to deal with things yourself. So she's been doing Pilates or yoga, I think it is Pilates, for a long time, and now and fascia release, which is, releasing stresses, releasing all the tension things. But she's over there, and it's a little bit,
Mm.
yeah, I get a bit jealous when I see her video
Interesting.
sometimes. But that's really
Oh,
sad that you said about that the old Indonesia is going, because
yeah,
just
Bali.
even,
Yeah. Yeah.
Bali, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about Indonesia so much, but Bali has changed so much, just even into, well, post-COVID. It's,
Mm.
yeah, a lot of things happen there.
Well, I think probably people have thought, oh, I can go there and set up a business. I can go there and it's. I think can we
Yeah.
live there? I don't know. Can
There are visas that you can live, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
they were really starving during that time, and there was a lot of suicide actually, because they couldn't feed their children, because they'd all invested so much in tourism and not farming.
Wow,
So there was
I
a
didn't
lot,
know that.
yeah, a lot of suicide, and so in that time, a lot of people from other countries came in and bought land, and they were so desperate,
Mm.
they sold land for development, so it's just gone crazy. Horrible
That that
developments.
sounds very familiar.
It is, yes.
Another country that has done that. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
still doing it, and probably
yeah.
England as
So,
well. Same
yeah,
thing.
it has changed, sadly.
Yeah.
Still
Oh, that's
beautiful, and still beautiful pockets, and the people are exquisite. They're the most beautiful, gentle, caring,
mm.
kind, giving people. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think that's on my down the track for sure, to do that at some point.
Mm.
But we're sort of coming to the close-ish.
Gosh,
But
doesn't
so
time
I know, I know,
fly
I know,
when
and
you're having a good time?
I think I'm so glad that you came on, because it's
Me
really
too.
the subject just came through, because I guess it's all the women, the sisterhood, the blah blah. And I often talk about my new sisters that I've got I've got so
Gorgeous.
many more in the last few years.
Mm.
Um, and and it's really important to have
It
women
is.
in your
It's
life.
so
It's
important.
really,
Yes,
even if
absolutely.
even if you repeat yourself, because that's okay, because they'll do it to you. You know how
That's
they're
right.
very good for offloading and
Yeah,
whatever, because
yeah,
we need, it's good to use each
yeah.
other like that.
They hold our stories, actually. Can I end with a quick verse from the
Of
book? Because
course
there's
you
a
can. You
beautiful
don't even have
one
to end. If you wanna
exactly.
just quickly before that though,
Yes.
say quick something about how people can get in touch with you,
Yes,
or just like you said,
absolutely.
is it
So
the Wild Women?
lovely. I'm on Instagram, Wild Sister Wisdom, Facebook, Penny Champ and Wild Sister Wisdom, and my website is Wild Sister Wisdom. Um, And yeah, you can get in touch with me through there. You can find my email there. You can find my phone number. And I'm always happy just to talk as well to people who just want some guidance actually around what can they do with the ashes, some ideas. What can we do? Our child is,
Funeral
you know,
celebrant.
is going to be born soon. What can we do to welcome the child? I'm
Mm,
always happy to just do a bit of chatting, you know, because it's all
great.
good for the planet, isn't
Yeah.
it? Sharing,
I am.
sharing
I'm hoping.
feelings and
They turned me down because one of them is a bit camera shy, but there's a woman up in Brisbane that does warrior women circles, and I've had her on before, but I can't remember which one she's studying. She's either studying to be a death doula, and her
nice.
sister, her twin sister, is a birth doula. And I wanted
Oh,
to have them both on. They're
wow.
identical twins, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
wow. That would be fascinating.
oh, there's Sharon. Sharon is the one who brought you on. There we go.
Hello. Oh, yes. Also
Let's not
has
be mean to her. She
oracle
cracks me
cards. Oh,
up.
bless her. Yes. So I'll just quickly say, coming soon, and I've got a little mock-up of the box, but it's small, it's not its actual size,
Mm,
is Oracle Woman wisdom cards.
wow. Okay. My daughter's
And
very
that's about to go to print. And that's again nourishment for a woman's soul through the day. And
mm,
it's about the wellspring that's us in us. We've got all the wisdom in us, and we are actually Oracle women anyway. You know, she's not outside of us. So it's about tuning into that wellspring and being Oracle women. It's all in there,
mm,
you know.
mm,
Again, making time, being quiet, asking the questions. And that's what I love about Oracle cards, is that they give you that time just to take 5 minutes out of your day. Yeah. Thank you, Sharon.
or
Bless her.
20.
She's my best support, that woman.
Yeah. My daughter's very much into she's very good at the tarots and things like that. So she's very intuitive, and it just kind of comes naturally, I think.
Lovely.
Or very psychic-ish, you know. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not
That's
psychic, but
good.
maybe it's more intuitive that yeah.
Yeah.
She'll
Yeah.
kill me if she hears me say that.
You should get her on here and have a chat with her.
No, never. She would.
So,
Anyway.
yeah, it's good. It's interesting what you say about women in our lives and how important that is. And I just actually do want to say here that all the work I do, I couldn't do without the women in my life, the
Mm,
women that I work with, but also my own sisterhood. And really, you know, all of them in the UK and here and in Bali as well. They inspire me to do what I do. So I just wanted to say that. And
yeah, no,
um,
fantastic. I
yeah,
must say I'm getting a lot of support too. I
yeah,
was talking about Marooned, which is it's a play I have, the suicide prevention play, which I want to make into a
yes,
film. And
yes.
one who was with me yesterday, she sent me a message in the middle of the night saying, "I've been thinking about it. I really want to help you. I've got the
Mm,
background in this. So it's lovely, you know, that
yeah,
especially that particular one. But we working together and being part of a bigger community, however we can help each other, you know, having
yes.
this platform is great. But I'm going to let you do your verse, and
I've
and
just got
then
to
I'll just
find
say goodbye
it.
to you. Say goodbye and thank you so much. Because
Oh,
at the end, I'll just put the end stream up, because it always takes me a bit of time to kind of do that. But
I
I'm
wasn't
going to
going
go
to
help
read this.
myself.
So bear with me. I've just got to
No
find it.
problem.
Oh, it's okay. Here it is. It's called The Women's
Yeah.
House. May I feel the circle of safeness, the caring hands, the encouraging words of friendship, enfolded by my soul sisters to share my sacred stories with, expose my weeping wounds to, and feel the healing balm of kindness soothe my heart. May my friendships build a women's house with solid foundations, enduring walls, warm hearth, hot tea, and buttered toast, and filled with glowing faces, mirrors. Mirrors that remind me of my beauty when I have forgotten. Mirrors reflecting back to me the miracle of who I am. May I forever feel the circle of safeness, the caring hands and encouraging words of sisterhood.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Especially
That's
the
it.
buttered toast and tea.
Well, don't
That's
say
what
that
we
again,
want.
please. I was gonna say the hot tea just made me realize I did.
That's the best bit. It's the food we share and the tea.
So thank you. Lovely to meet you this way.
Thank
Maybe I'll
you
meet you
so
another
much.
way, hopefully, at some
Yeah,
point.
and
I'd
thank you.
love
Thank
to.
you to our listeners too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. See you. Bye-bye.
But wait, can you hear our children crying? They're calling from all over this land. They're glaring at today's page. Is your Australia